Ladies and gentlemen, señoras y señores, we are back. We're talking about Philadelphia sports here on El Parcero Phillies channel. Guys, it has been a dark time in Philly sports. You're talking about, we go all the way back from the Phillies collapse. The Flyers looked like the best team in Philadelphia. They looked like they were going on a championship run and lost in the second round to the New York Islanders. We did not expect that, let's face it. The Sixers getting eliminated by the Boston Celtics in the first round. You do not like losing to Boston, let alone getting swept by those freaking guys up in Boston. The Philadelphia Union, after the season that they had and getting eliminated into the first round of the playoffs, was not what we expected. The Eagles season right now is not what we expected either. That is drama-filled, but ladies and gentlemen, everything is going to be okay. Why? Because the Sixers are back. In about less than 20 days, we got 18 days until the Sixers season starts, 17 days until we get NBA basketball back, and I am freaking juiced up for the Sixers season. This team is giving me hope right now. This team is the light in Philadelphia sports, and today we got the schedule that has been fully released. We got all the games here right now for the Sixers this season, and we are going to not only talk about the games that are here, I'm going to give you my thoughts on the Sixers schedule here. We're going to touch a little bit on what the Sixers have done this offseason because, guys, I haven't talked about it, but I am really excited for the Sixers. Let's get this started, guys. And before we move forward, guys, do not forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell button for notifications. This is your place for everything Philadelphia sports with a little twist from your favorite parcero. Guys, so all right, today is the day we are going to talk about the Sixers schedule finally being released. We have the full schedule here. All right, so the season this year will be 38 games. It is literally not even half of the typical season. So it's really a dash to the finish line. We talked about it with the Phillies here. You cannot screw around this season. You have to start quick. You don't have the time to adjust like other seasons. And for some teams who have a lot of turnaround, that could pose a serious issue. But I'll get to in a second. I think that we will be okay in this 38 game season. So we start in December 22nd for the NBA, December 23rd for the Sixers, and the Sixers will end their season on March 21st. We'll get right into the playoffs. So not only is the season getting cut short as far as the beginning, but as well as the tail end, as the Sixers season will end earlier than usual here. So what we're gonna do, guys, we're gonna just look at every month, these 4 months that the Sixers will be playing NBA basketball. I will go over the matchups and any little note or tidbit that we have here for the Sixers in those months. So first up here, obviously with December, we have 5 games to play this month. They start really late in December, so it'll be we have 5 games to start off with in that first month. We have 2 home games, 3 road games. Obviously, you know, it's not a terrible balance there. You got 1 more road game than a home game, but to start off December, we start the season off at home against the Washington Wizards, the New Look Wizards, who now have a backcourt of Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal. I know they are excited in DC, and we will get the first look at what the Washington Wizards are going to be in 2020. Next up, we will be traveling up to New York to Madison Square Garden to face off against the Knicks. Look, I know the Knicks suck. The Knicks have sucked for a long time now, but I still get excited to play the Knicks. You know why? Because New York sucks. Yes, sir, they do. All right, so that game is going to be on December 26th, the day after Christmas. We will not have a Christmas Day game, but it's okay. You got on the next day. The next day after Christmas, you got some NBA basketball, you got some Sixers basketball. That should be fun there. Next game, December 27th, we have to travel to Cleveland to back-to-back away games right there against some bad teams. So these first 3 games so far, not that good of opponents. Obviously, Washington, we don't really know what exactly they have, even though they've given us problems in the past. But these are 3 games that should be able to get the Sixers to get their feet wet into this season, especially with the new coach and some new pieces. The next game, it'll be December 29th, only Tuesday. We face off against the Toronto Raptors. This will be a first good test to start off the season. I know the Raptors look a little bit different this year. No Marc Gasol, and I haven't been keeping up, but I'll have to check after this what happened to Serge Ibaka, if he has signed yet or not. But regardless, that should still be a good test. Van Fleet, Kyle Lowry, and Pascal Siakam still there. And Nick Nurse is a pretty damn good coach, so that should be an interesting game there. All right, New Year's Eve day. It'll be a Thursday. We will travel back down. We will travel again. We are going down to Orlando to face off against the Magic, and I'll be really intrigued. I don't know what to think of the Orlando Magic going into the season. This Eastern Conference is really tough this year. It's not like years past. I really don't think it's such a breeze by like other years. And Orlando, who was the 7th seed last year, or I'm sorry, they were the 8th seed last year. I don't really know if they can actually make it in this year. I think that 7th through 1st seed will make it again. I'm not sure about that 8th seed, so Orlando will be a very interesting team to see, and they do give us problems as well. And they drafted my guy Cole Anthony. I wanted Cole Anthony in Philly, but it's okay. We got Tyrese Maxey, so we are right there. All right, next game here. So now we're traveling back home. It's going to be interesting. So on January 2nd and January 4th, we play the Charlotte Hornets back-to-back at home. So that'll be really interesting. We'll face off against Jordan's bunch. I don't know what to think of Charlotte this year. They are trying to build a team that is conducive to today's day and the NBA. They got some shooters, obviously drafted LaMelo Ball. They went out and signed Gordon Hayward, but I still think that they will be the same old Hornets. But, back-to-back games, that could be a tricky spot. After that, January 6th, it'll be a Wednesday game. A Wednesday night game, we will be hosting the Washington Wizards yet again. So you get the Wizards twice in 1 month. That'll be interesting to see as well. All right, then the next day. Yes, the next day, the 7th, we got the Brooklyn Nets in Brooklyn. Ooh, everyone circle that one right there. The Sixers at Brooklyn, the first matchup between the Sixers and this new look Brooklyn Nets team. All I'm hearing from Brooklyn is this is the team to beat in the Eastern Conference with Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and a couple of good role players. That is a pretty well-rounded squad. I'm not going to lie there. We will see how Steve Nash can handle a lot of these personalities that is within the locker room of the Brooklyn Nets, but that'll be very interesting to see. All right, that Saturday on the 9th, we have the Denver Nuggets. They gave us a great showing in the Western Conference playoffs this past season. I'm interested to see what they will do this year, but another good test there. Following Denver on the 11th, that'll be a Monday, we are traveling down to Atlanta, another team that did improve, I really think that they will be fighting for that last spot in the Eastern Conference, but I don't know if they will have enough, but still, they gave us fits last year. Trae Young's got Rajon Rondo with him now. I think they will be better and they'll be tougher to play against, but I think I like my Sixers this year. We'll get to that in a second. All right, next up, you got on January 12th and January 14th, again, you got back-to-back at home against a team, the same team. And this time, it's Jimmy Butler in Miami. Coming up here, we got to face them back-to-back. And listen, as long as Jimmy Butler is still playing in the NBA, it is still going. Sixers fans will still feel something seeing Jimmy Butler not play for the Sixers and wonder what if the Sixers win the NBA Finals the next couple of years. I think that will change things a little bit, but still, back-to-back at home against Jimmy Butler and the Heat. That should be interesting. So mark that on your calendar. January 12th and January 14th, the return of Jimmy Butler back-to-back. All right, next up, you got on January 16th, we are traveling down to Memphis to face off against the Grizzlies. That will be another interesting one, as the Memphis Grizzlies are one of those young and up-and-coming teams that I will be intrigued to watch as well. On January 17th, we will be traveling to OKC, which will be against an OKC team that, as we all know, are going through a rebuild. Sam Presti is trying to do his version of the process, and I actually like what they're doing. I really like what he is doing. All right, on January 20th, again, January 20th and 22nd, we have back-to-backs against the same team, the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics back-to-back. I already like the schedule already. You got to face off Miami back-to-back, face off against Boston back-to-back. We are not getting embarrassed by Boston again. I promise you that. We got their former coach. We're going to be all right, but that's still going to be interesting back-to-back games there. On January 23rd, we are traveling to Detroit to face off against the Pistons. On the 25th, again, we will still be in Detroit. A lot of back-to-backs against the same team. So I think the NBA is doing that. The whole NBA is doing that as well, and I think it's smart only because of COVID. You want to try to keep these players in the same place as much as possible. And I think it's going to be weird to see, but I think it's a smart thing to do. Player safety is more important above all else. January 27th, we face off against the Los Angeles Lakers, and I can't wait till they come here. I cannot wait till they come here. That'll be a 7:30 game, facing off against the reigning champs. I hate to say it, but the reigning champs will be coming here to Philly, and that'll be really interesting. Dwight Howard and Danny Green get to face off against their former team. I'm going to be really excited for that. The 29th, we will be traveling against Minnesota to face off against this D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm really intrigued what that's going to look like because I don't have any faith for that franchise whatsoever. On the final day of January, we will be traveling to Indiana to face off against the Pacers, the first test against the Pacers. Now, I forgot to get to it, but January is a total of 17 games. We'll have 9 home games, 8 road games. So that's really telling for January. And then we're going to talk about the February games. This month in February, we'll have 13 games, 6 home, 7 on the road. January will be the most games that the Sixers will play in the young season. So let's look at the February games here. And to start off February here, ladies and gentlemen, we will be traveling to Charlotte to face off the Hornets again. On the 4th of February, we will be hosting the Portland Trail Blazers. Get to see Dame and CJ McCollum in Philly. That should be interesting. Saturday, February the 6th, Brooklyn travels down here to face off against us. That'll be the second matchup against the Brooklyn Nets. On the 9th of February, we'll be traveling to Sacramento to face off against the Kings. Man, you guys already know what it is when it comes to Kings. I really don't know what to tell you about them this year, but all I know, that should be a W at that time. All right, let's look at the next game. The 11th, we'll be traveling to Portland. On the 13th, we are traveling to Phoenix to face off against these new look Suns, CP3, Devin Booker. I really like what they're doing there. They finished the season off very strong. Didn't make the playoffs, but they were unbeaten in the bubble. And now you get a vet like Chris Paul to go with Devin Booker. I really like what they're going to do. It should be interesting. That should be a lot of fireworks in that game against the Phoenix Suns. On the 15th of February, we will be traveling to Utah, and that will end a 4-game road trip for a 4-game Western Conference road trip for the Sixers. That'll be a tough stretch, and then they will come back home on the 17th to face off against the Houston Rockets. I don't know what to expect from the Rockets. John Wall and James Harden backcourt. Listen. James Harden has tried it with CP3. James Harden has tried it with Russell Westbrook. James Harden has tried it with Patrick Beverley. No guard can play with James Harden. I'm convinced that is the issue. But we will be hosting them on the 17th. All right, next game on the 19th, we will be hosting the Chicago Bulls. We'll see Zach LaVine, who was supposed to be coming to Philly. Those rumors were really hot up until the draft, until Daryl Morey made some other interesting moves. So we will be facing off against Chicago on the 19th. On the 21st and the 23rd, we will be traveling to, it's not Toronto, it's Tampa now. We will be traveling to Tampa. As we all know, Toronto will be playing in Tampa for the season. Canada has some strict border rules with the coronavirus, so we'll be traveling to Tampa, Florida for its back-to-back games against the Tampa Bay Raptors. That's weird to say. It's so weird to say. All right, the 25th of February, we'll be hosting Luka Doncic and Josh Richardson and the Dallas Mavericks. I think that is going to be a chippy game. I think that Doncic didn't get his opportunity against the Sixers here in Philly, if you guys remember that game. And then Josh Richardson is going to want to come here and prove to the Sixers they made the wrong decision. So that will be it'll be on a Thursday, the 25th. That should be one you guys all should mark on your calendar. It should be an entertaining NBA basketball game. All right, to end out February, we will be hosting the Cleveland Cavaliers. And then in March, the Sixers will play 2 games. And hopefully we'll play more games as we hope that they continue to make the playoffs yet again. But they end the 2020-2021 season hosting the Indiana Pacers and the Utah Jazz at home. All right, guys, so there is your season. 38 games again. A lot of back-to-back games with the same teams. A lot of them are at home that we are doing that. But, you know, for the NBA, the challenge is going to be trying to get as many games as possible to play, as we've seen with the NFL, the MLB, and even the MLS. The struggle of trying to get these games played. As we know, COVID has really hindered on the gameplay of all these leagues. So that is really what we're going to be keeping our eye out, hoping that the NBA can finish these games. But I really like the schedule. I really have high hopes for the Sixers. I love what the Sixers did this offseason. You know, I told you guys that the Sixers don't have to complicate things. You don't need that third superstar. You don't need to find that next Jimmy Butler. You don't need to find your Chris Bosh or whatever you want to call it. But what the Sixers needed to do is they have two generational players in Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. You can say what you want, haters, but those guys are talented players in today's day in the NBA, and those two can win. And they have shown you the formula of winning. 2017 was the model of how to build the Sixers team. And they needed to find shooters with more athleticism. That's what 2017 was shooters without athleticism. But I think now you have guys who have shooting, have athleticism, but you still have good defenders. Obviously, Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid are some of the best defenders in the league. You still have Matisse Thybulle, who is an elite defender in his own. I think Tyrese Maxey is going to bring you a little bit of a defensive edge too. So this Sixers team is really excited. I don't want to dive in too much because I'm going to have previews leading up to the season. But I wanted this video to talk about the schedule here because, listen, I'm really excited about Sixers basketball, and having the schedule out is another step closer to the season, and I need Sixers basketball. The way the Eagles are playing and the Union season ending the way it did, we all needed this. So, guys, in the comments below, let me know your thoughts on the Sixers season. If you want to give me your record prediction in the bottom, let me know. I am not going to do that. This is a weird year. The schedule's weird. We're playing 38 games. A lot of weird intangibles that we're not considering, like, you know, what if we get a couple big players that do test positive for COVID and we're out with them. So this is a weird year, and I really don't want to do predictions. But if you guys want to do predictions, let me know in the comments. I will let you know what I think about it. But yeah, give me your thoughts on the schedule below. Guys, stay tuned for some more videos. We will be giving you a full round of videos. El Parcero Philly is back on YouTube. Do not forget. So tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a... Yes, sir. If you listen to Big Sean, you know where that came from. But guys, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell button for notifications, as well as share this video and the channel to help your favorite Parcero Philly grow. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I am El Parcero Philly, and I am telling you guys to trust their dear process. Let's go, baby.